everybody, and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles, and on this episode, we're going Walking in Memphis. The topic of this Walking in Memphis, CWA Memphis Wrestling from December 22nd, 1979. If you've been following along, for the month of July, we partnered with my friend Bucky749, the American Samurai, and his brother Jeremy for Jeremy's Christmas in July, where all of the shows in Walking in Memphis, and it came from the network, are going to have a Christmas theme to it, hence why we're reviewing a show from December 22nd. Let's jump right into this. Now, I will say there will be links to both Bucky's channel and the video for this show down here in the description, so check out, definitely if you want to check out the show that I'm about to review before I do review it, click on that link. We grade everything here on a 1 to 5 scale, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. Let's jump right in. First match of the show, we get the Assassins versus Steve Regal and Jerry Bryant. Steve Regal is not the wrestler that would go on to be William Regal. At this point, I think he would have been about 10 years old, maybe even younger. This Assassins team is Roger Smith and Kurt Von Hess. At least about 85-90% sure that's who it is, because there were different wrestlers that would take the role within the years. Kind of interesting, or it might have been Randy Cooley as one of the two, might have been Jody Hamilton, but I'm almost 100% sure that it was Roger Smith and Kurt Von Hess. Assassins are one of those teams that kind of went from the 70s all the way to the late 80s and had many different iterations. I mean, you could almost put anybody under the mask. The Assassins do pick up the win here. I'm giving this match a 3. I thought it was a good quality opener. After that, we get a pre-tape promo with Billy Robinson explaining that his arm is injured, but he's going to come back, and when he comes back, he's going to injure everybody else, and he's going to come back for a vengeance. Pretty good promo. I've heard a lot said about Billy Robinson not being a great promo guy, and I haven't seen enough of him to say he wasn't. He seems to be pretty much on par for what most people were of the era. I can't hold that against him. I thought he was good. I mean, obviously he's a great wrestler. Next up, we get a video of the Gibson brothers, Robert and Ricky, versus the Assassins, which is the same Assassins. This was joined in progress. During the video, it does go black and white, so I believe that this video that I've watched, and hopefully you'll watch too, is compiled from at least 2 different recordings being patched together, and probably where it's black or white is the only surviving part is black and white. This was decent. The Gibsons pick up the win. Afterwards, David Schultz comes down, kind of helps helps out the Gibsons here. Pretty good, which leads us right into a promo from the Gibsons talking about their feud with the Assassins, and then an in-studio match with the Gibson brothers going up against Buddy Wayne and the Avenger. Awesome that we get a lot of family ties already on this. I mean, the Gibsons, obviously, Ricky and Robert. Robert Gibson would go on more to be known as part of the Rock and Roll Express. We see Buddy Wayne, who's Nick Wayne's father here. And then, as we go on, we'll see more. Gibsons pick up the win. This is my favorite match, actual in-studio match of the card. I'm giving this a 4. I thought it was pretty good. And it was Gibson's versus Buddy Wayne and the Avenger. Then it goes back to color again. Then we get a promo with Jerry Hart and Jerry Lawler and Jimmy the Mouth of the South Hart. And Hart is Lawler's manager at the time. They show video of Jerry Lawler versus Ken Lucas, where Ken Lucas picks up the win. Which leads us to Jarrett coming out talking about Lawler possibly facing Lucas, Lawler's contract coming up at the end of the year, and not wanting to rehire him for 1980 because at this point Lawler was in full heel form. Pretty good promos all the way around. I mean, how can you go wrong with Jerry Lawler and Jimmy Hart? Plus, you add in Jarrett, who's also really good. It goes back to black and white here when Jerry Jarrett's talking about the Christmas Day card, which would have been that Monday in Memphis, I believe 2 days after this, or 3 days after it was shot, obviously, because it's the 22nd, and Christmas is the 25th. For that whole segment, the video, the interviews, I'm giving it a 5. Next up, we get what would be considered, I guess, the main event of the show. Tojo Yamamoto and Sonny King versus Rick Morton, who would later become Ricky Morton, and Big Red. Also, I want to mention, in the previous match, Ricky Morton's father, Paul Morton, was the referee. So again, more family ties going through here. This is a pretty decent match. As it's rolling on, it gets cut off, and I don't know if it was how the video was spliced, because honestly, I did not see this originally. I would have been 2 years old, so even if I did, I wouldn't remember. It gets cut off, and then we get a promo at home from Bill Dundee talking about Christmas, and then it goes back to the finish, which is back in color again, after it being black and white for the first part of it. The finish of the match sees Tojo and Sonny King winning by disqualification. Overall, decent match. I'm going to give it a 3. Overall, it was a little jarring going back and forth between color and black and white, but it's hard to really criticize that when this is probably all that exists of the video from more than 40 years ago now at this point, almost 45 years ago. Can't really blame that. The picture quality is pretty bad, which is why some of these pictures that you're seeing here are actually screenshots from the video, and you could see some of the quality isn't the greatest. Overall, though, a very enjoyable show. Main reason, obviously, the date time, it ties into our theme. Dundee wishing everybody a Merry Christmas ties in as well. Overall, I'm going to give the show a 3. I thought it was solid. I've definitely seen better. I've definitely seen better from this year, Memphis Wrestling, 1979 specifically. So even grading it on the time period, it was more of a kind of a okay middle of the road show. I do still recommend watching it because you do get to see the Gibson brothers, which are a fantastic team before Robert would go on to be the Rock and Rolls with Ricky Morton, who wrestles later on in the show. You get to see Tojo Yamamoto wrestle. You get to see Lawler with Jimmy Hart. I mean, just some really good stuff all the way through. Again, pretty mid-show. I'm going to give it a 3. With all that being said, again, definitely check out the American Samurai's channel. They're doing some stuff for Jeremy's Christmas in July over there. I highly recommend go checking them out. Also, make sure to go ahead and watch this video, which I also recommend, so you know what I'm talking about on here. And if you made it to the end, let's smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, share the video, and if you made it all the way here, since it is Christmas in July, let's put eggnog in the comments. With all that being said, my name is George Coles, and we've been walking in Memphis.